Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Goddamn Gamecube, the best goddamn video game podcast there is. Today is a very special episode. Today is our 50th episode of Goddamn Gamecube. This is also the finale of Season 2. It's also a very special moment for the Goddamn Gamecube crew because our founding member Josh is back with us after a year. Because of coronavirus, we were doing everything virtually, and Josh was unable to join us, but we are back in the same room, all four of us, after a year. Josh has been working on his own content channel, Brewster Promotions, where he has been making video content about New England breweries and craft beers. Josh, welcome back, man. It's been a year. We missed you. Hello.
Who are you people? No, but for real, it feels really great to be back. It's almost surreal being in the same room with y'all. I really can't believe it's been over a year at this point. This is incredible.
Isn't this wild? I mean, after, we didn't want season 1 to end after 25 episodes a year ago.
Yeah.
But, blah, 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 Corona happened and we had to do our best. So we took a couple of months to figure out season 2. And as you guys know, season 2 was conducted virtually and you heard my voice before every episode. So season 3 is going to be coming at you guys a couple of weeks from now. We are not taking 6 months off like last time. It will be back in a couple of weeks. So in honor of our 50th episode and the finale of season 2, I have prepared a fun little grab bag of topics that we're going to discuss today. We're going to have a little fun. I just want to say thank you to our fans and community of Goddamn Gamecube for growing with us and being responsive on all of our socials and watching every episode. You guys spun Goddamn Gamecube more than 20,000 times this year for more than 20,000 hours. What is wrong with you?
What are you doing with your lives?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm just going to say thank you instead.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to us. This is the finale of season 2. So grab bag topic number 1.
Oh boy.
This subject I have here is gaming quirks and habits.
Oh, okay.
Now, we're going to go around the room, and we'll go... You guys aren't looking at us, but we're going to start with Beppe and go around the room. So, first one. Do you always play with subtitles in video games? Yes or no, Beppe?
As long as I'm not playing a Halo game.
because
there aren't any.
They don't have them.
Oh yeah, I do everything with subtitles. Like I watch TV shows and movies just so I actually if I hear a lot of voices or different sounds at once, like my ears get a little overwhelmed. So I like to try to piece it out to see what the intent of every scene is. But games in particular are very helpful that way.
Josh, subtitles.
If I'm playing any game that has any Japanese dialogue, so if I can pick that, like Sekiro, for example, where you can pick the English versus the, weeb version, basically.
Yeah.
I'll play with subtitles. I'll do that. It makes it feel more authentic. But I'm like Beppe, too, with like, if I have anything going that has the option of subtitles, it's nice just in case I miss something, if something's not exactly fully audible.
Nick.
100% of the time, always subtitles. Doesn't matter what I play. I always, it shouldn't, but I always rate a game a little higher when subtitles are on by default and I don't have to switch them on myself.
Also when they're accurate.
Yes.
What I also really like is when games do like all the weird background sounds and they subtitle them too and all like the nameless characters.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, subtitles are always on. We had a point of contention on the Halo podcast where I had a hard time playing the early ones because I had never played them before and they're not subtitled. So if you want to, listen to Beppe for 5 hours talk about Halo, you can go listen to our Halo.
I'll explain what they didn't.
Yeah.
And, I think the only ones were 1 and 5 were the only ones.
Weird,
that's
right?
crazy. But continue.
So the next topic, we're going rapid fire through gaming quirks.
All right.
Oh no.
Are you one of those weird creatures who inverts camera controls at the start of the game? Like, you know how your up is down and down is up and blah, blah, blah? That's almost like retro style. I never do that. There are 2 people in my life that do. Will, you're one of those people who is in our Final Fantasy Madness episode. I do not invert camera controls. Do you, Beppe?
I never do, but I have messed around with it a couple times, and I do think it feels more natural if you're in a flying section. I think that's like the only time.
Josh.
I mean, do you like shit after you shower in that order? Like it's no, absolutely not. No inverted.
Nick?
That's a great.
That honestly was not a bad comparison because I'm like, he's right.
It's actually no,
I mean,
He's right.
no. I don't think I've ever actually like meant to turn on inverted controls. I've just always standard. Although I do agree with Beppe. If I were to play like a game where you fly or a flying game, it would probably be a good idea. Might make more sense that way.
Sure. Okay, this is a good one. I do this.
you're looking
Whenever
right at me.
you start any new game in any franchise, when you start the game, do you hit all the buttons to see what they do before you're directed? Beppe.
No.
No.
No, I get nervous that I'm gonna like use like an expendable something, or
I see.
I'm very cautious until I need to use it.
Yeah.
Josh.
yeah, occasionally.
Yep. Nick.
Literally every time. I hit
me
every
too.
single button, click every stick, see what it does every time.
To our fans in the comments, feel free to answer these along with us.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. If you invert camera controls, I don't want to know. I'm joking.
You can't come on the
You
podcast.
can't come on. Yeah, Will, you're banned.
Yeah, sorry, Will.
This is a point of contention. I don't think it'll be one here. It is a point of contention on the internet. When you start a new game, do you always play on the recommended difficulty, which is typically normal, or do you if that's not true, do you ease it or do you increase it? How do you typically start a new game?
I go normal, and because I'm an adult and I keep running out of time. If I hit, like, I think I mentioned recently I was playing Doom Eternal, and like towards the end that game becomes such an assault on your senses. I lowered the difficulty pretty close to the end, just because I take a little time where I'll let something challenge me for a little bit, and then I gotta get back to my life. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
so I have no qualms about it anymore. I typically just go with the recommended and see how I feel.
Josh.
So, more often than not, I go with the recommended difficulty. However, I do have a confession. I am not one to lower difficulty. However, when I was a youth and my parents bought me God of War without knowing anything about the rating system or anything like that.
Okay.
I did drop that down to the easiest difficulty because
tough game.
Yeah, and also I mean, like, I'm like 12 at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, for something like that, you give me easy. Other than that, I go normal.
Nick.
So I used to be always go normal, but now I tend to pick out depending on the genre. Recent game we both played, Greg, Mutant Year Zero. It said if you play tactics games, which I do, if you think you're good at tactics games, you pick very hard mode. It is the intended way to play, not normal. So I said, yes, I'm not going to let this game menu screen talk shit to me. I'm going on very hard mode.
Mama didn't raise no bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But because I kind of wish I did that for a game like Fire Emblem Three Houses. I went on
easy.
normal mode, but I played all those games. It was too easy for me. So after that, I'm like, okay, maybe depending on the genre, if it's a tactics game, I might pick the difficulty higher than normal because I tend to play a lot of those. Since we're going around the room sharing them, I have one embarrassing lowering the difficulty story.
I do too.
Greg, you know this one. The final boss of Dragon Age Origins. I could not beat it. I kept doing 1 damage. I don't know why. That was the only part of the game I had to lower the difficulty.
We were also like 14.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
so I felt so bad. I went through the whole game on the recommended difficulty, but the final boss, I had to lower it to easy.
interesting. You had Game Jam. Did any of you play this? Did any of you play that really strange game called Catherine, the puzzle game?
Oh, I know all about
Did
it,
any of
but
you
I didn't play
play
it.
that?
I'm aware of it. I never
That's
played
the
it.
one game where I never play on anything lower than normal. Nick, I think you're the one guy in the room who I feel like will put it on hard the first time.
Yeah.
I typically will always go normal because I guess we've talked about this so much. Whatever the vision for the game is, I want to play that.
Yes.
This game, Catherine, I thought was so hard. Keep in mind, this is a puzzle game. You don't really do anything other than talk to people and solve puzzles. I played it on easy just to experience the story. That I never do that.
Interesting.
I never do. But it was that game. You guys should play that game. It's not just a weird anime sex game.
Aren't there like Persona 5 characters in there?
I don't know.
I think there are. Yeah, I think it's technically same universe or similar, something like that.
I'm not
Pretty
sure.
cool.
Nah, no.
Oh, this is a really good one. I patted myself on the back for this.
Oh no.
Do you ever feel confident that you adjusted the brightness correctly when the game asks you to do it at the start of a game? For me, never.
No, and I always feel like it's too dark for me.
Yeah,
so
me too.
That's my answer.
Josh.
Nah, I mean, I've got issues seeing at night as it is without my glasses. So it's like, if someone's like, oh, drop this till you don't see like the dragon or something like that, I'm like, I can't see it regularly. So like, screw it. We're going to wing it. I'll shut the lights off. Maybe that'll compensate.
You gotta eat some carrots, I hear. That improves your vision at night.
Oh. Doesn't it also turn your skin orange if you have too many carrots?
Only if you're a Khajiit.
That's an old wives' tale.
I saw it in my essential oils group.
Oh my god. Nick.
That's a really good question. Maybe it's because we're all like either 30 or pushing to 30. My eyes also aren't as good as they used to be. I always have it brighter.
Me too.
Than the recommended. I don't know, man. Like, I get it. Sometimes it being dark is atmospheric, and that's how the game devs intended it. But man, I just want to fucking see the hallway. I want to see the guy charging at me.
I think you can have like, this is like a Helm's Deep versus Winterfell situation where
Yes.
you can have it set at night, but you got to see what's going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
You don't want to have it be like that, like late night run to the bathroom down the dock hallway. Like it's
exactly.
You know what it is? I agree with you guys. I always feel like it's too dark, but when I'm playing a scare game, I'm like, should I have it be too dark? Is that the intended? Is that what it's supposed to? Can it just do it for me?
I know,
like,
right?
do I have to choose it? What I've also realized now is now that I have upgraded TVs recently, my TV also adjusts its brightness to my room. So now it gets even more complicated where my TV will change depending on the environment. Now it just makes... This is just a note to developers. I'm sure I'm wrong, but can you just do it for me?
Well, that's an interesting point because I have noticed recently them getting a lot better with adaptive brightness. Like you're kind of capturing how your eyes adjust to light and darkness. Pretty cool.
Okay, sad question.
Oh.
So we're gonna move right along here. We're moving out of quirks and we're moving into other subjects.
Moving into the sad topics?
Well, I don't know. It's not sad.
Okay.
It's like when I watched Up all over again.
Yeah.
It was like 15 minutes of happy.
Yeah,
and
if you
then
ever
just
watched
like, I'm
Up,
sad.
is the next. I'm just kidding. So also I want to reiterate to people listening, feel free to comment with your answers as well. I'd love to hear them. So, what's a sequel you want to a game but you know you'll never get it? Who wants to start?
I'll do it.
Go.
Golden Sun.
Oof.
That's never gonna happen.
That hurts.
Dark Dawn was okay for a sequel. They did leave it open-ended for another one to come out, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen. Camelot's too busy making more Mario Golf games.
Is that what they do now?
Yeah, they make all the Mario sports games.
Ouch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they made the new Mario Golf that just came out, right? Did it just come out or it's coming out soon? Apparently it's very good, but that is a sequel to a game I know I will never get. Golden Sun.
Dude, when did Dark Dawn come out?
I was still in college. It was at 2011?
2010?
10, 11, something like that. Yeah.
Ouch.
And the Game Boy one's many years before that too. Yep.
Anyone else in the room have an answer? Josh.
Can I give two?
Yeah.
Because I've thought about these
Please.
for a while. There's some nights where I just like lay awake thinking how I'm never going to get a sequel to these.
Sure, many people do, yeah.
And both from the PS1 era.
Okay.
I wonder if I'm going to guess one. Go ahead.
I think I might.
Nick will know this one.
Yes.
Legend of Dragoon.
Yes! Yes!
I want a Legend of Dragoon sequel.
Or a remaster.
I want
sick.
a remaster and I want a sequel.
Yes.
So yeah, there's that. And then a gem that not many people know about because it was basically just like a package for the Final Fantasy VIII demo. Brave Fencer Musashi.
What the hell is
what
that?
What is that?
It's so Square made it. It was back when like the post like Final Fantasy VII like blow up with them, and like they took it was a weird mix between like RPG and 3D platform because you could like jump around and stuff. You had like these cute little like chibi characters. Everybody had like food and drink related names. It was a lot of puns. So there was like the Thirst Quencher Empire and like all that kind of shit there. But it was solid it was a cute little like PS1 game. It was it felt like Ninja Quest 64 kind of, because I know you're a big
that's a hot button
I know
topic.
Greg's
There
a
we
big
go.
Quest 64 guy. Picture that art style, but with like sword combat, and you're just like running around and shit. It's really cool.
Interesting.
I thought you were gonna say Final Fantasy Tactics, but no.
I haven't played.
I know. Then I remembered that looking you in my disappointed face of my son.
Sorry, Dad. Jesus.
Beppe, do you have one?
Mm-mm.
Really?
No.
Wow.
It's just whatever it is. It's just gonna suck.
Oh my god, Beppe.
You know, I've learned my lesson, and everything that I've loved from the last couple of years has been a complete unknown to me. So I'm just gonna keep my ear to the ground and see if anything new jumps out at me.
So I mean, you guys know. Do you guys know what mine is? I actually posted it on the Goddamn Gamecube Instagram recently.
Quest
Oh my
64.
god, Mega Man Legends.
It is Mega Man Legends 3.
Oh,
Good guess though, Josh.
Yeah, no.
Quest 128.
I mean,
Quest 65.
I mean, I told you, like, I literally, big shout out to the Quest modding community that I stumbled on. I didn't know that would ever exist. Thank you for giving me like hard mode and things I never thought I'd play. Mega Man Legends 3. No one likes Mega Man Legends. Like, it's the 3D Mega Man game. It's also Mega Man 64 if you ever played it. Everyone hates it. I really liked both of them. The Mega Man Legends 3 hurts especially because it was in development for the 3DS and it was canceled. So that's probably mine. Oh, Nick is pointing at me.
I've got one that speaking of Mega Man, a sequel or another series in the Battle Network franchise.
We love Mega Man Battle Network.
That's one for you.
I feel like that's like the quirky thing about Goddamn GameCube, where this wasn't on the list, have any of us ever beaten a mainline Mega Man game?
No.
No.
Oh, Josh.
I have another confession.
Oh, it's turning into confessions.
You use a Game Shark?
No, never in my entire almost 30 years of gaming now have I ever played a Mega Man game.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say too much. I've only played fucking Battle Network.
I did. However, I did watch the Mega Man Battle Network Saturday morning cartoon on 4Kids TV back when that was a thing.
Okay.
That counts.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to say the quirky part about Goddamn GameCube is with our collective experience of vast amount of games we've played, we've only played the Mega Man spin-offs.
That is
like
weird.
Battle Network, Legends, the games that people hate. But okay, I think you guys might enjoy this one. This would have been. I feel like this one would have been even more fun if we had like our parents in the room. Okay, well, that's debatable.
Yeah, you just I love
just
how it's
ask
like
the question.
we're gonna make this sad. Time for parents.
Okay, what do you think is the funniest or weirdest gamer slang terms? Example, like cheesing something is like one of the weirdest ones I've heard. Like, why is that? Why is cheesing something
easy
like
cheesy?
Yeah, I don't understand. Anyone have one off the bat here?
I think tanking is kind of a weird one. It's like,
Why?
I mean, yeah, tanks are these armored things, but they like fire and they're, they shoot stuff too.
Yeah.
But tanks in video games, they just sit there and take damage.
Another one I think is really funny is like, there are so many funny ones like camping.
Oh,
Or, like,
mobs.
That's a good one.
Mobs, aggro. Because
Oh,
hasn't aggro like made its way into like cultural terms too? Like
think
when you're being
so.
aggressive in
Kite.
real life.
I think so. Yeah.
Kiting.
Kind of.
That's a good one.
What'd you say? Kiting?
Kite.
Kiting.
Where it's the same thing as aggroing because you're reeling them out on a string.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
a good one.
Like I feel like glass cannon is really funny.
That's a good one too.
That's a fun one.
Will and I had a really funny conversation about cheesing, trying to find the origins of why it's used.
Okay.
I guess it's some old definition of something being easy. I don't know, but it's weird how it got adapted that way.
The one that interests me is one that is popular with the youth nowadays, and I watch a fair amount of streams, and I've heard this, and I'm like, what the shit does it even mean? But poggers? Is
I know what
I
it means.
have a confession. I've heard this one a lot. I don't really know what
So
it means.
I've conveniently pulled up the
like-
definition because I didn't want to sound like an idiot trying to explain what I don't know.
Okay.
The word poggers is used to express excitement during a game when something exciting occurs.
Wait, so how do you use it?
It's very poggers.
Yeah.
It's very
a
poggers.
moment is very poggers.
Are you
or
joking?
if you're making the face, you're pogging.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's this guy who did it. It was a Twitch, I believe, emote called the PogChamp.
Yep.
And I forget what he was doing, but he makes this like like surprised face.
Yeah.
And it's like that was like a GIF, and it was going around
Yeah.
for years and years.
It would be like the equivalent of like, oh, I got the Channeler's Trident like on my first playthrough, Poggers, like that kind of thing. Like that's because you're just like real, and you make that dumb friggin' face where it's
Like
just
the
like
Pikachu face?
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show
Yeah.
you guys some good pogs later.
yeah.
Okay.
I wish this was never
Put your
brought up.
hey everybody listening, put your Pogger emotes in the comments.
Please do.
Share them with
What
us.
the hell?
Well, thank you for letting me know and the origin of PogChamp. That's a
Greg discovers poggers.
yeah, I feel like
that's the new episode name.
That's the title of the episode.
The description.
I'm going to end that question by saying, is us having to learn new terms, is that chuggy?
No, Shugi.
Is that
Ah.
Chuggy?
I think that
hate-
was made up
Is
for
that
the
the
news.
thing that delivers my pet food each month?
No. This episode
that's-
is not sponsored by Chewy.
Oh God, Shugi.
Okay, I don't know if you guys would have one for the next question. Is there a unique or new gameplay element that you've played recently, or an aspect of game design you've seen used recently that you like? Maybe either a new trend or something you've seen in a game.
I mean, does the haptic feedback of Demon Souls count?
Okay, tech.
I've never played anything that with a controller like the PS5 controller.
That feels so disgusting.
Yeah, you feel like you're crunching the bones in someone's back and hit them with a battle axe. It's pretty fucking gnarly, but it's pretty sweet.
Is it pretty Poggers?
Pretty
Dude,
poggers.
I fucking hate everything about this.
That's stopping right now.
Yeah, we have to stop the poggers.
I just get fined for each Poggers moving forward.
We'll have a pog jar.
Yes.
Might as well just call this a podcast.
I hate you.
Anyone else in the room? Anyone have a new gameplay element or design thing they've seen recently?
Me personally, and especially with like, you know, gaming conditions with the quarantine and stuff like that, there was a big rise I saw in communal gaming in terms of like, you know, shared like
Oh, sure.
yeah, like obviously online play's been around since like friggin' forever at this point, but like that real sense of like community that like, you know, a bunch of people playing the same game are willing to like help each other out, and like, you know, a bunch of like, I don't know, it's this really nice wholesome mechanic that I feel like, you know, yeah, it really grew especially during the quarantine, but like it's nice that it started and then just like
Do you mean more of like the Dark Souls messaging, or more like the come visit my island?
come visit my island is more
Okay.
what I'm thinking.
Interesting.
Oh, that's a wholesome one. I like that.
Yeah.
Beppe, any new trends or anything that you've liked over the past maybe year, 2, 3 years that you can think of?
Only what I was just talking about, because with the Demon Souls remake, I was playing it a little bit over at Nick's, and I drew a comparison with the footage of Halo Infinite that just came out, where the enemies are reacting to damage in a sort of location basis.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
The Resident Evil 2 remake also did this, and it's kind of a sick thing to enjoy, but it's cool. It's just like it's very satisfying if you hit, you know, you exert your will into the world and you hit an enemy and they react appropriately.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I was gonna say, like, what's the right way to articulate this? A lot of games now have been doing like customized controls however you want for purposes of everyone being able to play it.
Well, like remapping buttons.
Remapping, thank
Yeah.
you. Like remapping button schemes.
Yes.
Like Microsoft. Do you remember like there was, I think, a holiday commercial 2 years ago where Microsoft released that new controller where it's you could map any button to any kind. Do you remember that?
It's an accessibility
It's an
controller,
accessibility
right?
controller.
Yeah,
Do you guys
I
remember that?
Yeah,
Yes.
the one with it was like the kids playing the game with the accessibility controller, and the other kids like, come see, he's fighting so and so.
Yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah.
super wholesome.
That was pretty
great
cool.
one. Yes.
We actually briefly discussed this on our difficulty episode, that specific commercial, and my thoughts have continued where I never knew why that wasn't a thing.
Sure.
Because I feel like it was so easy to implement.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a gameplay thing. This is more of breaching into marketing. Do you know what I've liked recently? Hi, we have a game coming out. It comes out next week. Well, you guys have seen that stuff recently in the past year or two? We have a game coming out. It's out in 6 months.
Yep.
Example, Elden Ring. Maybe that's a bad example, but you know, that trailer came out and they said it's coming out in 6 months, January.
Yep.
It's not like, hey, you're waiting 4 years.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Metroid announcement, like 4
yes,
months.
Metroid Dread. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the highlight of the whole show for me.
Right. And we had like Fire Emblem Echoes. They announced it in May. They announced it in January. It came out in May.
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming out in May. Nothing else. Here you go.
Do you know what would have been a funny answer to this? I mean,
What?
VR has gotten popular, but none of us have it. That's a pretty unique
Hey, wait a minute.
gameplay.
I played VR once.
Half-Life, you're
I
talking
played
about?
Resident Evil 7 on VR for about 35 seconds
Then you
before
had to change your clothes and you had to leave.
Yeah, pretty much.
Too spoopy.
You were there.
Yeah, I tried it. I was like crying before walking into the house.
It was great.
So
I'm like spoopy.
before we talk about maybe what we've been playing during our pandemic gaming, you guys have we just started talking about it. Do we have any quick fire thoughts on E3? Because we aren't going to do a whole segment on it. Maybe I'll start. We did a whole segment on Elden Ring, so everyone like hold back your horses for a second.
Hold your Elden
I'm gonna make
Rings.
this a little harder. Was there anything that was not Elden Ring that we cared about? Anybody?
No.
What about like for the memes?
Sure.
Dude, Final Fantasy Origins, whatever the fuck
was
that is.
so bad.
It looks so
Is that the
bad.
Chaos game?
Yes, exactly.
That's all. I didn't even know it was Final Fantasy. I just I shut off the trailer halfway through. I was like, oh, cool, Chaos game. Bye. Like I
so-
just like
They just say it over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was
That's
bad.
crazy.
I'm like, wait, Sonic the Chaos Emeralds? What? This looks weird.
Yeah, so that one looked bad. Square Enix NX did not do a fantastic job, but oh well.
Yeah, go ahead, Beppe.
No, I was just gonna reiterate that Metroid game was a huge
Yes.
surprise to everybody. Apparently, it's been in the works for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely Nintendo's most like squandered franchise at this point because there hasn't been. I think the last one was Other M, right?
Yeah.
that game that everyone hated.
Yeah,
And
everyone
Metroid
hated it.
4 has been in development hell for a long
Metroid Prime
time.
4
Metroid Prime
is
4,
the like the first person shooter one, but this is a side scroller, and there hasn't been one of those since I think if you count Other M, but also Metroid Fusion, which was a Game Boy Advance game.
It's been a long
That was
time.
like 2005, something like that, or 2002 maybe. But that and I haven't played the first one, but the Breath of the Wild sequel.
Oh, yeah.
That's
was
what
kinda
people were waiting
interesting.
for.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, wasn't that was just like 40 seconds for like people to masturbate to? Like,
Yeah,
there's really
pretty
like
much.
nothing.
I know,
going
but I
on.
was surprised that they're bringing back the Skyward Sword world when that was
Great.
like that's like everyone's least favorite game.
That's why they're remaking it, right?
They gotta give it another shot. I
I
guess.
forgot this is not going to become a Skyward Sword episode, but I can't wait. Is that out? Is that coming out?
Coming
It's
out very
soon, like
soon.
2 weeks or something. It's pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think it's in
Mhm.
July.
Ugh, we talk about like our least favorite games on the podcast. It's got to be that. I have no idea if I'll like it without motion controls.
I'm gonna play it that way so I don't have to deal with the motion
I agree.
controls.
Yeah, we should reiterate the reason why I didn't like it was because of the motion. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Can I tell you a funny story? Actually,
Sure.
I'm not sure if I've brought this up on the podcast before, but I only played a demo of that game, and it was at New York Comic Con in 2011 when it was just about to come out. And there's a fight with that guy that you run into a couple times in the game. He's like just kind of a fancy guy, you know. He's a little swordsman, and they were showing off the motion controls, and as soon as you land a hit on him, he like licks his lips. And I looked at the guy who was presenting the demo. He's like, yeah, I don't know, man. Just like doesn't know what he's
That's
selling
awesome.
here.
Oh my
But
God, that's awesome. I
yeah.
actually have a couple.
and
I'm sorry, go
you know
ahead,
what
Beppe.
else? The one other thing, it was a pretty dry year, as you'd expect, because there was not a lot going on the last year. But the Wario game looked really fun.
I was gonna say
Yes.
It
WarioWare was
very
the
cute. I haven't
yeah.
played any of those, but that looked really cute. And I got really mad when Bethesda announced their new game, and that's it.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Starfield?
I saw it come on. I was like, shut the fuck up. I don't want any part of this.
Oh no.
And I didn't think the Outer Worlds trailer was funny either. So,
No?
so get
Oh, I
out
really
of there.
liked it.
I thought I liked it
I was
too.
just like, I've seen this like meta quirky shit enough. Get it out of here. Be sincere for once. Come on.
You know what it is
Yeah.
though? I feel like I mean, listen, it's not like I know them personally, but I've met Tim and Leonard, and they seem like the kind of guys where if they release a trailer like that, I feel like now that I've seen them face to face, I feel like I believe in them a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
I said this, like, I played the Outer Worlds. Did anyone else play it? The
Yep.
first one? You
No.
did, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fine. Like, it was decent for what it was, but it just was too small scale. I feel like them being, what I said at the time was, think if they made this game with some money, and boop, you get the
Here we
Microsoft
go.
injection of money. So, I mean, I thought it was funny. Wow, we actually have some disagreement on the podcast.
Well, they were taking the wind out of the sails of games that show trailers that have no substance to them. Like,
Sure.
we don't have anything ready or whatever. And, you know, that is funny, but it is talked to death. And I just like, I thought considering how lukewarm I felt about the first game, I was like, you really need to win me over here. Like, don't put out this, like, because I feel like that's often used like a kind of a shield, like, oh, we're just joking around. That means you don't have to take it too seriously. And then you just put out something half-assed.
Yeah,
Good point.
No, that's a good point. Real quick, I remember the one that really kind of pissed me off in a way.
From E3?
Yeah.
Oh.
That Avatar game.
Oh,
I didn't see that.
It was the blue people?
Yeah.
Yes,
The
there's an
Pocahontas
Avatar game.
ripoff.
Yes.
It was.
Oh.
It was literally. So here's the thing, and I watched a video. The funny thing is, I saw that, and then I watched a video like some streamer put up or something like that, like a week after, where they were just like, "Oh, like trailers like this are aggravating because it's a cinematic and there's no gameplay whatsoever. So how do we know what to base it off of? Like, yeah, it can look really gorgeous, but like the gameplay could be total shit. So you need to like." I hate, and me, even myself, I hate pure cinematic trailers. I want a little bit of gameplay in there. Like, show me how shit's moving. Show me what to expect. Don't just, like, put a pretty coat of paint on some shit and think I'm going to drop $60 on it. in a few
Ghost of
months.
Tsushima.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, listen, don't talk shit. I'm the only one in here who beat that.
You're true.
All right.
You're right.
That's what they do, though. That's
Yeah.
all they do.
That's how they get you.
I know, but Nick, you had a couple of thoughts, right?
Yeah, Beppe said one of them, which I'm glad he said at WarioWare. I'm not a WarioWare fan, but people have been clamoring for another WarioWare for a long time. Another one too, also by Nintendo. I mean, I think Nintendo hit it out of the park with their E3. They also showed Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a fan of that series. I played the fourth one, and actually pretty freaking cool. You both played Persona.
Yep.
You would like Shin Megami if you played it. I'm not sure if I'll get the fifth one, maybe sometime down the road, but people have been wanting Shin Megami 5 for a long time, and some of our friends are really into it too. So
Isn't
I'm glad they
that-
showed that.
Wasn't Shin Megami like the precursor to the Persona games, or am I thinking something else?
It's interesting because I'm pretty sure Persona is the spin-off of Shin Megami. Shin Megami played first,
Oh,
I think you're
okay.
right.
and then Persona is the spin-off that became more popular. I think so anyway.
What
Interesting.
about that new Smash character? That was an interesting trailer.
You know-
Oh, the Tekken guy.
I'm not familiar with the character, but I'm fine with other fighting game characters being in Smash Brothers. I'm cool with it.
Is this the last Smash Brothers if
There's
they're
gonna be-
putting everyone in it?
I thought this is my thought with this Smash Brothers. They're gonna keep releasing versions of Ultimate for every single console and just keep adding new characters to
They
it.
probably should. How many characters are in it now?
Jesus.
But didn't they say like the one after this guy is the last one they're adding to this game?
Yes.
So I'm not sure what the plan is.
Crash Bandicoot, you
Oh, yeah.
cowards.
Bomberman.
Rayman.
Oh,
I would
that'd be
love all
dope.
three
we
of
have, we
those.
have desires in here.
All
We
of
have,
them.
we're airing some grievances.
I would love all three of those guys. Or
Yeah.
Rayman,
Goku.
Bomberman. Goku. Jesus Christ.
All right, this isn't Fortnite.
We got
I want the God of War guy.
Let's get Kratos in here.
Let's get Star Wars skins in here.
It's interesting that they. I'm assuming it's whoever they could get their hands on, but
Yeah.
that they've gotten some characters over others.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
I think other companies would probably want their characters in Smash Brothers. Probably makes them a ton of money, depending
Maybe.
on who they are.
Most
Maybe.
likely.
Yeah.
So what was interesting was like the general consensus, at least from what I've read about, from maybe bigger media outlets than we are, is that I was kind of surprised that I heard this. There was some consensus among media outlets that this was proof that E3 shouldn't happen anymore.
Whoa.
Which I was surprised to hear some people say that, because even though there wasn't a lot for me, I like that there were gaming events throughout the year.
I missed it last year.
Yeah.
We watched
even-
the Game Awards together. It was kind of fun.
That was fun.
If it's something either that I look forward to with an asterisk or that I'm gonna make fun of, it's always fun.
Yeah.
It's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
We aren't going to do an E3 episode, so thank you guys for that. Let's go on to this next. We haven't seen each other all in the same room in a year. So let's talk a little bit about pandemic gaming, just a little, now that we've gotten... I don't want to say the pandemic is over. We want to be sensitive to this stuff, but it's getting safer where we are. That's why we are here in person. Let's talk a little bit about things that you played during the pandemic in particular, or stuff you dedicated your time to. For me personally, I got through Morrowind for the first time.
Yes.
Nice.
Which
Big
was
one.
really crazy. And I know like some people in this room played a lot of Animal Crossing, much like a lot of the world.
Whoopsie.
Josh, I'm sure you did.
I had a 200-hour island, and then I deleted it and started fresh.
Are you serious?
He did.
Yes.
I saw it happen. Yep.
Nick held my assets for me on his island.
Oh, do I still have those?
No, I collected them
Okay,
all.
good.
Beppe, what was some of your pandemic game? Don't you have like a running list of stuff that you want to get through?
I do. I mean, I didn't make much progress because I was fortunate enough to be working most of the time, working overtime. So it was very kind of few and far between, but stuff we've mostly talked about. At the beginning, it was weird because Doom was out and Resident Evil was out, and I played those. I think over the course of the year, it was some indie games. I have been gradually working my way through Devil May Cry and God of War series that kind of play similarly, so they're kind of in the same vein. I'm just trying to get rid of my PS3. And I've been as we've discussed, making my way through the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
That's
and
right.
That's great because they really spruced it up, and it's taken up a lot of my intended gaming time. It's a nice little release. And Resident Evil 8 just came out pretty recently, so we hope to address that at some point next season.
You know what's interesting,
Yeah.
dude? Like, well, if you listen to Goddamn Gamecube, you're aware of this already. I played through the Halo franchise for the first time. Isn't that
Yes.
weird?
Right.
Where like I skipped many of them as a kid. And so, we talked about it for 89 million hours, so feel free to listen to it. But that was interesting where like, I know we're all older now. We're either, approaching 30 or whatever, late 20s. I've been out of the multiplayer game for so long. Like, I feel like the older I get, the more of a lonely gamer I become. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm now almost like a single player only kind of guy. And what I thought was interesting during this pandemic was not only did I get through Halo for the first time, I played a lot of multiplayer, like with our friends. Like my girlfriend played with me. Beppe, we played a little bit. Nick, we played a little bit.
Oh boy, that was rough.
Boy.
But we did
That
it.
is one thing I got together a lot of our friends, some of whom listen to the podcast, and we've been meeting up once a week to get some Halo in, and I think we're improving quite a bit.
Nice.
So
That's
pretty cool.
right. I forgot. We have a chat going now where we're actually getting people together to play Halo. I feel like it's like high school.
I know,
again.
it's what it feels like when you're in there.
Yeah.
But,
Let me make it. This is a gaming confession. Do you know what game I played a little bit of over the pandemic?
I know what this is, but
with
I'll
our
let you
friend
say it.
with our friend John. We played Fortnite a little bit. So
First of all, how dare you?
yeah, I know.
what did you feel about it?
So I gotta lay it all out here. My first opinion is I'm a little embarrassed about how much fun I had playing it because it is fun. But what I said to John 2 seconds into loading this, I said, this is a walking advertisement.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I could be blowing this out of proportion. I'm definitely not. But like, are you literally drinking Surge and stormtroopers are invading? Like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on?
It's very much like, baby's first like shooter, but
Yeah.
like you can definitely tell that the company or the developers know their audience because, like you said, it's one giant walking marketing ad. They are taking full advantage of young impressionable kids.
Oh God, what are you thinking?
Well, it's like
Wait. Do you know what I was saying to John? I'm like crying. Do you know what I was saying to John as the game is loading? Like, you start off in like this plane and you like fly in. Every time the plane loads, I would say over the mic to John, I'd say, and this game of Fortnite is brought to you by Bank of America. It's pretty much what were you going to say? That's pretty much what this game is.
No, I can't remember if I brought this up before, but it is kind of like a worse, to me, like aesthetically worse. I haven't played it, but I don't like. They throw everything in there, and I was thinking about conversely, like the Lego games, they pull that off and it works because it's a cute art style. It's like the fidelity of the Lego games has improved very well over time. I think the new one has just come out and it looks like incredible. And it's like Fortnite just looks like shit because it has to run on everything.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
But
Nick, what about you? Pandemic play.
All right, so my pandemic gaming history is pretty interesting. I didn't play a ton of different video games, so I played a shitload of like 3 or 4 of them, very long games. So yes, Animal Crossing was one of them. I'm gonna save that for when Josh speaks on it. I had a ton of fun in Animal Crossing. We'll have a good back and forth on that when we get to Josh. I played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was a pretty big game for a lot of us. Josh, you still have to play that.
I suck. I know.
Honestly, it's pretty good. I was very skeptical about this remake, like from the get-go. I almost didn't buy it, on launch day, but I did.
So you really like the 1/3 of a game you got, Nick?
Dude, like,
is it even?
no, it's like a fifth.
Oh.
Midgar is like the first 5 hours of the
How's
original.
it feel paying $60 for half of disc 1?
I know. It's like I kind of feel dirty about how much I like the remake, but
You
dude,
should.
the combat's really fucking slick, man. It's
Okay.
fun. But the other game that I really want to talk about, but none of our friends have played it, no one on the podcast has played it, is Yakuza Like a Dragon. This game, I've never played this series.
I want to play Yakuza 0 really bad. So
Yeah, people love the Yakuza series.
Yeah.
This one, Yakuza Like a Dragon, is like a reboot, kind of like the new God of War, kind of like the new Dooms that have come out, where it's a totally new main character, and it's now like a JRPG combat style,
Oh.
which is very interesting. All right, let me just get on my soapbox about this game for a little bit,
Go.
just for a couple minutes. So, what I really love about this game is like your character is the lore is that he's a big Dragon Quest fan. He talks about Dragon Quest all the time.
Okay. Go on.
And he loves because every time he gets into a street fight in his mind, he thinks he's in an RPG fight, and that's why it plays out turn-based.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty cool. The other part I really like about it, all the characters are older. It's not standard JRPG, kid who saved the world is 17. Your main character is 40.
That's
And
awesome.
one of your party members is over 60. I think every party member you get is at least over 30. And there's a lot of themes in this game about, hey man, this guy had a tough life. He didn't really get his say or get his shot until he was 40. And I think that's a really nice theme to a game, you know?
yeah.
Where all games make you think, if you don't do anything, if you don't accomplish anything by 22, you're a fucking failure. No.
Hollywood too, same
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. But this game, it shows you become a hero and you're 40, 41 years old. Like, toward the end of the game, this is not a big spoiler. It's so fucking cheesy, but I loved it.
Okay.
When you're going up to like one of the final areas, you get a phone call and a guy says, hey man, you said you always wanted to be a hero, right? Your demon's up in that castle. Go conquer it. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. I love that shit. All right, that's it. I'm off my soapbox now.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
I want to play
Yakuza
that.
just cured my depression.
Yeah. It's a very wholesome game. Recommend everybody play it. It's on Game Pass if you have that for free.
Yeah, that description sounds really awesome.
Anyways,
actually.
that was my pandemic.
Josh, what
gameplay.
was your pandemic gaming like? If you want to sum it up.
400 hours of Animal Crossing.
No. 500 hours of Pokemon, 200 hours of Animal Crossing. I wish I was kidding.
Which Pokemon?
The newest generation Sword and Shield,
cool.
which aren't even that great of games, which makes me feel worse about how much
like
time I've
400
sunk
hours
into
in
it. Oh yeah,
There's something compelling about them.
It's like crack. I can't.
Well, I mean, you
So-
play competitive though.
I do. So I do that, and I do the shiny hunting. So like I'll breed.
Oh, okay.
I'm the kind of person where was when Logic's retirement album came out over the pandemic, or retirement in quotes. He's supposedly coming back, but anywho. I'm that kind of dude that like I'll hatch like thousands of eggs and put an album on the background. I'm literally sitting there for hours riding my bike in game in a circle, hatching eggs, trying to get shiny Pokemon. But like I did a lot of that, and then the pandemic gave me a chance to, like you said, Greg, I got into competitive because before, I mean, Nick, you knew like back in the day, I dabbled in it, but I never got serious about it, like ranking and stuff like that. Sword and Shield's ranking system is a very it's accessible. I will give it that. The game itself is not the highest quality by a long shot, but the actual competitive ranking and stuff like that, the game has made it so that competitive is open to everyone. It's not just people that have been making these elite teams. Like I've seen my share of meme teams on the ladder, but they're always towards the bottom. So it's like, yeah, you can go on, you can fuck around with some silly shit. I did you saw my Hitmonlee team I did at one point when everybody was bringing Cinderaces and Togekiss, and I'm like, yeah, chicken nugget, get them. And you can do that shit. So you can meme on people, but also I'm gonna humble brag. Because of how serious I got, and I actually started watching strategies and watching other streamers and shit like that, I got up to the Master Ball tier this past month, which is the highest level in competitive. Golf
Hell
clap for
yeah.
me. Golf clap.
Very nice.
I feel like I should have the Jeb side behind me. Please clap. I got up to that, and you have to think, you've got hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people playing this online. I, as of last month, was ranked 780.
That's in the world, right?
I like to think so.
That's
Pretty much
awesome.
it's anybody that's I think it's anybody that's online. Don't quote me on it, but if you count the legal battles, I won bigly.
Fucking God. Jesus Christ, John.
But yeah,
And that's how you met your fiance, right?
through Pokemon. I'm
joking.
No. But yeah, so it was Pokemon, and then like Nick mentioned, I did a lot of Animal Crossing. The three of us did here.
Yeah.
It was cute for a long time, and I feel like because we were deprived of the outside world, if you will, that's really the only way I know how to word it. Like, you know, you're like basically being told, okay, like you gotta stay in your house and like find a way to occupy yourself. Having something that simulated the outside world and simulated that sense of community to such a broad extent was really nice. It was really accessible. It made people feel connected when they physically couldn't be with each other. Like I did like a deep dive down the Animal Crossing rabbit hole, and I found like, you know, people holding like their weddings on there. Like you would like
crazy,
you
right?
could build like a wedding venue, and like people would like go to each other's islands and like sit in little chairs and like do the chat things for like during the wedding and everything. It was adorable. There was graduation ceremonies. It was really nice and wholesome. And then you had the dark underbelly of shit that scared me. And I found out that there's like Nookazon, if anybody's heard of that here, where you make
you were telling
like
me about this.
Yeah, where like Nook makes you pee in bottles and shit like that.
Yeah, I remember this.
Nookazon is actually, so you go on it, picture like a wish list, but for like furniture and hard to find items and stuff like that in the game. You can go on there and people will put value in bells, which is the currency in Animal Crossing for any of you that are unfamiliar with it. And you will go to that person's island, you will pay them whatever the amount, they'll give you the item. There's also the extortion for Nook Miles tickets.
Yeah, oh
so
my god.
people hunting for, you know, all the rare villagers, Raymond
Yes.
being the big one for some reason. You'll have people that are like, oh, like if you want to sell on my island for turnips, they're like $600, turnips to the moon. It was like that kind of shit. Like turnip stonks were like really big, but like it was nice because, well, it was an odd contrast because, like I said, you had that really wholesome community aspect, and then you had the schmucks that were just like beyond obsessed, but not in like a, oh, this is making me feel good way. It's like, I have to be the best at Animal Crossing. It's like
It's like the people who crashed the funeral in World of Warcraft.
yes,
Just,
yes,
just like killed everyone.
yes. This isn't one of those games where you have to be the best. Nothing is competitive. Nothing is ranked. Why are you extorting people?
You're always
almost?
gonna have those people, though. It's like,
You know,
ugh.
it's messed up. What kind of
is.
like what pleasure do you get out of that? There's no monetary value. Although some people are paying real money for certain villages.
Yeah, I
it
do
was
remember that.
yeah.
it was
They
asinine.
always
It was
do.
if Vice wants to make an Animal Crossing documentary on like the underbelly of that game, be my guest. Like
I mean, we can't understate like how huge Animal Crossing was.
Yeah.
Dude, this is so embarrassing, kind of. I had to do a slide on it for a presentation at work about Animal Crossing.
wait.
Yeah.
What?
We did a whole presentation about like what people have been doing at home and
Yeah.
like what the big trends were while everyone was at home. Like, I have to talk about Animal Crossing. Everyone and their mother literally played this game. And you know, we had like 7, 8, 9 people in our little group chat
Yeah, we
that
had a
would
group
play,
chat.
visit each other's islands, and I had a great time with it. I don't play it anymore, but I had a really great time with
Well,
it.
that's the issue. Just I'll wrap it up here. It was a lot of it. I know you guys probably felt the same way. There was burnout real quick. It
Oh,
was
yeah, absolutely.
6 intense, heavy months of my island this, and it needs to have this design concept and blah blah blah. And I had all these grand visions. And then when the updates started getting repetitive, and like, you know, I could start going out with like, you know, you could wear a mask to an outside venue, stuff like that. It's one of those things where it's like when you don't have to depend on it for that sense of interaction anymore, you see it's like it's a cute game, but there's not much substance.
Yeah.
But for what it was, when it came out in March of 2020, it was the
yeah.
game everyone needed.
Very necessary.
Yeah.
It helped a lot
Very
of people.
timely.
It did. It was
Yeah,
very
a
timely. It got
social
delayed
game.
too, which is interesting. It was supposed to come out in like January or something, sometime earlier, but it got delayed to a very convenient time. Yeah.
Yeah, it helped a lot of people, so
Yep.
that's good
For
stuff.
that, good on you, Animal Crossing.
So,
good on you, Nintendo.
Before we get to the end here, Beppe, I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say, isn't it bizarre that Deadly Premonition 2 came out?
During
forgot about
this,
that.
well, like
geez.
2 Resident Evil games came out within the span of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I was gonna actually bring up one last thing. I built a gaming PC during the pandemic.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
With all
right.
my overtime funds, and that was a long process because I didn't really know what I was doing. But my friend Bill helped me out, so that was cool. And we got some PS5s in the room,
Yeah, that's right.
and
Meh.
you want to talk about that? A little
Yeah, I
bit?
was just going to say, fuck you if you scalp those.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
if you scalp them.
seriously.
Fuck you.
Oh my god, Demon Souls, duh. That was
Yeah.
one of my quarantine
Yeah, I mean,
games.
we'll talk
technically.
about that.
Okay.
That's
cool.
coming.
I got a story actually about the
Ooh.
scalpers.
I do too. I scolded one via text message.
That's dope.
Yeah.
The one you bought it from?
No.
That would be really funny. Thanks. By the way, fuck you.
No. Like no, it's very quick where this guy via text was telling me, yeah, I'll sell you it for $800. That's market value. Clearly, he doesn't game. Or I said,
No.
I texted him, I said, you know what you're doing. I said, you know that a PlayStation 5 and Demon Souls and Spider-Man is a value of $620.
Yep.
You know this. You know what you're doing. He's like, yo, I'll throw in Spider-Man and a PS5 for $700. I was like, come on, man. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I ended up getting one via, GameStop.com.
Oh, no.
So us and a couple of our friends abused my power-up GameStop card to also get one. But we're not scalping them. We actually wanted a PlayStation. Beppe, what's your story?
So, I was talking to my tattoo artist about this.
Yeah.
And he said there was somebody in there that he wasn't working on, but someone else was working on, a guy who was bragging about scalping PS5s.
Did he mess
fuck
up the
him.
tattoo on purpose? I hope so.
I told him, like, you got to do something. You got to pull some kind of prank. But what I found fascinating was, so he was one of the people who had a bot that was buying them all up. And you know what was crazy is I didn't actually realize this. It's not just that PS5s are in such limited demand. It's the parts that people want too, because graphics cards, processor, everything is just like so rare right now. So people are just stripping these PS5s for parts. That's why.
That's fucking
that
wild.
That's one of the
we live in
reasons
right
why.
Jesus Christ.
That's a slap in the face to like anybody who's really into console gaming.
It's really
Yeah.
fucking depressing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's really bad. So I did want to wrap this up. So thank you guys so much for being here. So I just want to reiterate, this is the 50th episode of Goddamn Gamecube. That's a year of content. So I just want to we'll give a small golf clap to everybody in the room. So thank you to everybody on the team. Thank you to fans and friends and people that we've now met on the internet. We've had so many great guests on the show that we had in season 2.
Very thematically appropriate, and feels very heartwarming that we're back in person for the end of the season after a season of virtual hangouts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so hopefully we're going to be doing more in-person stuff. So thank you guys so much for spending thousands of hours listening to Goddamn Gamecube. And this is going to be it for season 2. And we will be back with season 3 in 2 or 3 weeks. So thank you guys so much. Greg, Nick, Josh, Beppe, and we're going to sign off for the next 2 weeks. And that has been season 2. Thank you guys so much.